Good morning. So, I am not be your normal lecturer, but I be going to continue from today, maybe for another 6 weeks, right? So, and then so you I think you are aware that your exam is going to have it on somewhere in November. So we are going to finish these courses. End of September, May first week of September, October, and then I'm going to cover 6 weeks. I mean, from today for till September mid, I'm going to um, discuss us with um, right then. Okay, so what I'm going to cover, I'm just going to discuss with you the corporate or strategic planning, right, under your syllabus. So, what are the areas we need to cover under this? Is basically setting a vision, missions, and what do you mean by a vision, and missions, values, objectives, goals, the SWOT analysis and things like that, and KPIs. So it's a part and parts of corporate strategic plan, right? And then we spend more time for expansion strategies. So that means how we are going to expand your businesses. What are the strategies you are going to use for expansion your business? That is what you call expansion strategies, where we are going to discuss about merging acquisitions, and then vertical integration, horizontal integration, diversification, product developments, and also we are going to look at it how we are going to fund, how organization try to find fund for executing these strategies, right? And these are the subject topic overview for the next 6 months, and if time permit, we will do structure as well, organization structure. Then the after that, Mrs. Fernando Vivat and this Sashi will come and discuss another 2 lectures, right? So this question definitely they are going to be a cover 1 question and 1.5 questions maybe, right? Okay, now I think you have your tunes with you. Okay, so you can always interact with me if you not understood anything. Please, please, uh, please try to send me an chat, or you can switch on your mic and unmute your mic and just ask for clarifications. Okay, right. So now, before we move into the corporate strategies, let me just explain to you what is the total financial market, or what are the institutions we need to manage under this topic. You know, so how many, if you look at the industry analysis, right, how many banks in Sri Lanka, right? So, the Sri Lankan financial sector consisting of licensed banks. So banks can be further divided into commercial banks and specialized banks. And then we have finance companies. And then we have specialized leasing companies. And then we have microfinance companies. Then primary dealers, insurance companies, unit trust, and cooperative societies, right? And all things are comes under financial institutions. So we need to manage all these financial institutions. I think you have already learned what are the act covering those institutions, incorporations and licensing. Right now, from whom you are going to take the license to operating your businesses and wonder what tech. Now, say for an example, banks. Banks are supervised by Central Bank of Sri Lanka under what act? Banking Act, like that, right? And specialized leasing companies managed by covered under 56 of 2000 Act number, Financial Leasing Act, and it's also supervised by Central Bank. And then if you look at it, unit trusts also covered under is managed by Security Exchange Commission, like that. Okay, so we'll get some idea about institution before we move into come up with the corporate strategic planning. Okay, so in Sri Lanka we have 6 specialized bank. We had 7. Now these Lanka Putra. Why I'm telling you, there may be one question on the first paper. First question 1 is compulsory. Sometimes the examiner will ask from you, name what is the financial institution not operated in Sri Lanka. What is the financial institution cancel the license by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka? Like that, there may be a one question, right? Okay, so for that we need to understand something. So we get an industry analysis, right? So we have 6 specialized bank, and the Lanka Putra Development Bank is acquired by the RDB, and that is why from 7 to 6. And also NSB form a subsidized company, thereby taking Sri Lanka Savings Bank. So, but it is not under, not absorb or not accumulate, not merge. That is national Sri Lanka Savings Bank is going as a separate subsidiary of the National Savings Bank. And we have foreign banks, and we had 11 foreign banks, and we have commercial domestic banks, and altogether is maybe around, if you really look at it, it should be around 20 notes. Sorry. So then commercial banks, we 2 banks was closed. I mean, not operating in Sri Lanka. 2 foreign banks. One is ICICI Bank. In December last year, Axis Bank also requested. Now, if you really look at it, your past papers, in 2019 March paper, yes, 2019 September paper, the one question asks, what is this domestic, what is the international foreign bank that is close operation in Sri Lanka, right? So what's the answer? Is the ICICI Bank. If you ask now, there are 2 banks like Axis Bank and ICICI Bank, right? Okay, so that is why we need to know a little bit of that. In Sri Lankan banks are basically categorized into 3 banks, like based on the asset base. Now, say for an example, if the banks is having more than 500 billion asset base, they considered as a large bank. In Sri Lanka, we have around 6 banks, like People's Bank of Ceylon is having over 2 trillion, and then People's Bank is having something 1.78 trillion. Then we have commercial banks also reaching 1.34, and then NSB, and recently joined HNB as 1 trillion category, and Sampath is about to reach to 1 trillion. Now there is around 800 odd. So in Sri Lanka, we have 6 large banks, right, based on the asset base. Then the medium banks in Sri Lankan banking fraternity categorized based on asset base 200 to 500. So there may be around 5 banks under this category, 200 to 500 billion. We call banks under medium. And then so small banks are categorized under 200 billion. So this is how the Sri Lankan banks are categorized based on asset. In the Sri Lankan finance market, we have altogether, we had around 20.4 trillion asset base in financial sector. In the banking sector is around 14 trillion. Out of that mean majority of, or almost 63% are covered in the Sri Lankan financial industry by the banks. From that also, commercial banks take the majority, and specialized bank is around 6 to 7%. And finance companies are representing around 8% of the total asset base in Sri Lankan financial market. Right? Okay. If you really look at it, how many finance companies in Sri Lanka at the moment? We had around 39 finance companies in Sri Lanka. So the examiner can ask from you, so what are the three finance companies was close or cancel their license into 2020? So that is, the first one is the finance, and recently they have given Swarna Mahal Finance Services PLC and ETI Finance Limited. So three companies, finance companies were close, or maybe cancel their licenses. They're not in a position to operate in Sri Lanka. So they have got, at the moment, under what? Under liquidity support scheme, that is deposit insurance and liquid support scheme. Under that, they are getting their compensations, right? For one person per institution, 600,000. That is how they're getting, right? So there are at the moment, therefore, finance companies in Sri Lanka. At present, only 39 finance companies, right? So you need to remember that also, right? And Sri Lankan finance companies are representing around 8% of the total asset base of 20.4%, right? All are talking about trillions, huh? Then we have 4 specialized leasing companies in Sri Lanka. Specialized leasing companies, 4 specialized leasing companies, right? All these institutions are managed and supervised by Central Bank of Sri Lanka, and form under different act, right? So I want to get an idea about, right, before we talking about the details about strategy plan. So then we have microfinance companies in Sri Lanka as well, right? Microfinance finance companies also, we have around under 6 of 2016 Microfinance Companies Act, but only 3 companies are registered. But there are a lot of microfinance companies unregistered, but only registered 3 finance companies in Sri Lanka who provide small businesses with the micro level, and those 3 are we call Baradina Micro Investments Private Limited, and then Lagchaya Microfinance, and Dumbara Micro Credit Limited. And I give you all these things to you to get an idea about what is the business, what sort of a market we are operating, right? So there are 3 registered companies, but there are more, right? More finance companies, but they are not covered. They are not registered under Microfinance Companies Act. I hope you have already learned all these things under incorporations, right? Then we have primary dealers also, and there are around 15 with us, but now there are 3 companies cancel their license or temporary cancel. One is Entrust Securities, Pan Asia Bank Corporation, and the other one is, the famous case, right? Okay, so why I'm asking, sometimes the examiner again asks a small question: what is the bank recently stopped given for not permission to operate with primary dealers? That's the Pan Asia Banking Corporation, right? Then if you go into the insurance companies, we have around 28 insurance companies in Sri Lanka, right? 28. The 13 are long term. That means 13 companies are 13 long term. Mean long term insurance mean they can go for life insurance. But we have 12 usually the short term. That means that they are not operating general lives, right? And then there are 3 companies, they offer both license, both insurance. So therefore, we have around 28 companies, and we have around 66 insurance brokering companies in Sri Lanka. 66 brokering. From under what who is the supervisory look after the insurance industry in Sri Lanka, Regulatory Commission of Sri Lanka. And then we have a unit trust also, which around 46,000 customers. And we have 14 companies operating in Sri Lanka under unit trust. And then we have a corporate societies as well. So this is the industry I just briefly talk about. The so institution we need to manage under financial institution management. Right. I hope you understood. Any questions of that? Just to get an idea about what sort of a business we are, what sort of industry we are working, how many players in the market. It is important for us to understand when we are preparing our plans, a strategy plan. We need to understand who are our competitors, right? So that is why I give you a brief introductions about the financial industry analysis, right? How many banks in Sri Lanka, right? What are the asset base, and how many finance companies, finance leasing companies, microfinance companies, insurance companies, because they are either directly or indirectly compete with your bank. So that is why we need to know all these things. Right. So having understood that, some idea about the banking industry, um, so let me now be moving to the uh, the theory part, right? The lecture part. Okay. Now there are three plans according to the central bank. There are three plans need to be prepared by the three plans need to be prepared by the banks, right? Okay, just I want to just to clarify something. Okay, are you you can see me, right? Can someone tell me? You can see me because this light is not on. Yes, no, right. So right, thank you. Right, okay, then I'll go with that. Thank you. Right. Now, so there are three plans you as a bank, according to the central bank, three plans need to prepared by every bank. What are the three type of plans is a mandatory, every banks need to be prepared. Can tell me if you can, I know it's very difficult to get the reply from you because we are in the virtual situation, but you can, if you want, you can just unmute and just tell me. Okay, so what are the three plans according to the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, CBSL? Every bank must need to prepare. The one is what you call the famous BCP. What is BCP stand for? Business Continuity Plan. Every bank need to be prepared. Right now, that BCP is important during last March, April. How to what extent your BCP is apply in the real life situation, right? What is the BCP mean? Basically, if you how how bank operate under strategic circumstances. So something happened to your disaster for your bank. So how a business can be continued. So every bank must have a BCP, business continuity plan. The second plan is compulsory, what you call succession plan, right? According to the central bank, there are three plans need to be prepared by every financial institution, especially for banks. One is we call BCP, that is business continuity plan. Second plan is what you call succession plan, right? Every organization must have a succession plan. Third plan is what you call the strategy plan, right? For preparation of strategy plan, every business organization, every bank has to be developed by the bank itself, right? But you can get the support from external people, right? Some research company, you can get the support, but the plans need to be prepared by yourself, the bank itself. So that is why we need to study what is strategic planning, why it is important, what are the components, how can you improve your business and things like that. Okay, now I think you understood. As our regulator, central bank, requested all finance companies, especially banks, to prepare three type of plans. One is BCP, second is succession plan, third one is strategic plan. So that is why sometimes we call corporate plans, right? That is why we are going to learn this area. Okay. Now you see, if you look at the strategy plan, I think every organization must have a strategy plan because it's compulsory. So in long time, maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, the strategic plan is prepared for only merely for 10 years. Right? When you're preparing your strategy plan, we plan for the next 10 years. Right? And after sometimes it has come down to 5 years. The time frame is 5 years, not 10 years. Now, the present day, the strategic plan is usually preparing for maximum of 3 years. Right? Now, strategic plan now cannot be prepared for 10 years. Why is that? Because the environment is keep on changing and changing very fast. Sometimes it's a turbulent way the environment is changing. What we have planned now, you can't apply maybe 3 years, 4 years time. So that is why we are usually bring that long 10-year period to 3-year period. So therefore, strategic plan is now we are preparing for 3 year. Every bank is usually preparing for 3-year plan, but every year we have to renew it. Okay, right. So our central bank supervisory department come to your bank and maybe see whether you are having a proper strategic plan, and that has to be implemented and it be monitored. Right? Okay. Right. Now I think you have an idea about what is basically corporate strategic plan. Okay, now we are going to discuss little bit of corporate strategic plan. Okay, right. Now you as a manager, or you're going to be a manager in a financial institution. So every manager, you may be the branch manager, you may be in the some big position, but you may be going to be a one time a manager. So every business manager, every branch manager for that matter, for bank manager, face three central questions strategically about their bank's present circumstances and prospects. Right? Three questions every manager needs to face. Right? Okay. Now let's look at it. One, you can see. One is, first question is, where are we now? Where are we now? That's the first question. Right? First question, where are we now? Right? The second questions you are going to face is, where do we want to be? The next point. Right? Where we do want to be? Do we want to be? Right. That's the second question. The third question we are going to answer, how will we get there? Third one we call, how will we get there? How we will get there? That is the third question. Right? Remember, every organization, every manager facing three type of questions. One is, where are we now? What is my organization present positions? Right? And where you want to be? Maybe another 3 years time. Now say you are preparing strategy plan for 21, 24, or maybe 2023. So 2023, where your organization going to be? Right? So that is your second question. Third one, okay, we know where we are now. We know where we want to be. And then how to be there, how to go there. So that is the third one. Right? Now say for an example, right? If you really look at it, where we are now, how you find it out where we are now? You can check present, say your bank, suppose your bank, Sampath Bank for an example. I'm not going to, there may be a to chat, 1 minute. All right, okay, right? Right. Okay, so we look at the Sampath for an example only, right? Okay, so where are your organization? Where are we now? Right. So you can check as far as the market standing, as far as the market share, as far as the asset base, right? Whether you are in a medium-sized bank or you are in a large bank, you are a small bank. You know the categorization. If your organization have asset base, your bank is having asset base of less than 200 billion, that means you are in a small bank. So that is your present position in terms of market share, in terms of your deposit base, right? So something like that. So uh, you can check on that, right? Based on that. So therefore, remember where are we are now, and from your current performance. For an example, as far as the NPL is concerned, what is your present position, right? What are your present weaknesses? What are your strengths? All will tell you your present position, right? Present position. I think you got the idea. So that is why where are we now? So what are the techniques you can use to find out, identify your existing present position? Now, say for an example, like techniques available, SWOT analysis, right? You are going to discuss all these things. Then you can look at it, pestle analysis, uh, shareholder analysis. Like that, there are maybe a techniques for you to find it out where your present position, right? Now, say for an example, good example. Now you want to find it out your body health position. Now, what you are going to do? You're going to do some test, right? You're going to take some less test. So what are the type of tests you are going to use it? You check what is the cholesterol level, right? What is your blood sugar? Like that, you're checking your health areas, cholesterol level, blood sugar level, or whatever. So that tells you where your present healthy indicators. Where are you now? Likewise, organization also can see where are you now. Okay, okay. So then the next point is what you call where are you going to be? Right, from 2020, this is my position. I'm having a market share of maybe 10%. So I'm earning a profit of so much. I am the market leader. I'm having a deposit base of this and things like that. So the next one, where are you going to be? Where we want to be? So that is your final destinations during this 3-year period. Right now, for that, what you need? So you need to have a vision. You need to prepare the mission and what are the how you're going to uh, achieve my goals, objectives, things, goals, targets, and things like that. And that part's covered under second part. That is, where do we want to be? Clear? Where do we want to be? That's the second part. Right now, you know where are you now. Then you know where are you going to be. That's everybody, right? And the third questions faced by every manager is, okay, how am I going to be there? From today's market share, Mahi is having 15% for an example. So you want to improve your market share by maybe 20, say for an example. Now 15, after 3 years, you want to improve your market share 20. All right. So how to achieve this one? Right now, you are in the middle as a bank category bank. You want to become a large bank. Now, say for example, Sampath at the moment is in the less than 1 trillion. So how am I going to achieve 1 trillion deposit asset base? What? How to be there? So that part we talk about the creating or crafting strategies. Right now, what are the strategies I am going to go for? Next level, achieve my targets or goals. What are the strategies I am going to use? Right? Attract more deposits, granting more loans, open new branches, like that. So, what is the strategy you are going to use? So, these are the three things. Then the strategic plan is therefore basically we are going to answer to these three questions, right? So we are going to answer to these three questions. I hope you understood now. It's very important. The strategic plan, every bank is preparing, not only the banks, every organization is preparing strategic plan. But as our regulator, central bank has make it compulsory, all the financial institutions, especially banks, need to prepare a strategic plan. Right now, what is strategic plan? As I told you, so we are going to answer to these three questions. Right. Okay. I hope you understood. If you're not, please just uh, unmute and just uh, ask, right? So then only you will get an idea. Okay. So then we are going to design strategic planning and strategic management. Now, most of the time, people are talking about strategic management and strategic planning, right? Remember, the strategic management in business, in academia. So when you talk about the strategic planning in academy, that means university, or here we are talking about strategic management. But in a business person's concern, strategic management is strategic plan, right? Okay, remember that. Uh, Academia, we are used the word strategy management, but in business people, we are using strategic planning or corporate planning, right? So, according to the David 2011, he's explained what is this strategic planning or strategic management. Now, he said it is an art, it is a science. Science of what? Art of what? Formulating, implementing, evaluation, cross-functional decisions that enable an organization to achieve its objectives. Now we are trying to understand each and every some specific important words mentioned here. Then you will understand. So not to remember, right? So therefore, strategic management or strategic plan is art. What do you mean by art? Art means something creative, something innovative, where others are not have done it. That is why I call art. Kalaවක් කියන්නේ අලුත් කලාව. අලුත් විදිහේ කලාවට. කලාවක් is that. Art, something different, right? Okay. Science. What do you mean by science? Science is always technically proven, scientifically proven. නේද? අපිට ඔප්පු කරන්න පුළුවන් විදියට. ආන්ගේ විදියට කලාවට සහ විද්‍යාත්මකව අපිට කරන්න පුළුවන්, right? Art and science of what? Formulating. Formulating means developing. First, we need to develop our strategies, our strategic plan. First, you need to develop. Then, what we have developed, we want to implement in the real life situation. Right? What we have developed, we need to implement in the real life situation. While implementing, we need to see whether we need to evaluate. Why we need to evaluate? Because it is going according to our plan. That is why you need to evaluate. Now, why you have a performance evaluation? To see whether you have performed your job properly. Likewise, the plan you need to also evaluate. right? And cross-functional decision. Now, what do you mean by a cross-function, right? Now, what do you mean by functional decisions? Now, every organization is consist of different functional areas or departments, right? Finance, marketing, human resource, operations, like that. There may be a different divisions in an organization, right? So strategic planning means basically, so we need to take a decisions among all these cross functions areas. So we need to take cross functional decision. That is every divisions, every functional areas need to go for common objective, common goals. What is that? Organization's goals, right? You may have a different functional plans, but you must have one strategic plan. It is summations of all these plans. All these functional plans, maybe your finance plan, marketing plan, HR plan, all plans must be worked towards achieving your final corporate objectives, right? So therefore, you need to take some decisions, all these functional. And why we do everything to achieve organizational objectives, right? Now I think you understood what you mean by a strategic planning or strategic management. Okay, right, clear? Anything? So you know what you mean by a art, what you mean by a science, formulating, developing, right? Implementing and evaluation, cross-functional decisions that enable an organization to achieve its objective. That is the latest definitions of strategic management. Okay, right. Now let's look at it now. The four aspects of strategic planning, the key aspects of strategic planning, right? When you're preparing of strategic plan or strategic management, what are the aspects you're going to look at it? What are the key four aspects you're going to look at it? Right? Okay, let's look at it. Now, what do you mean? First one is interdisciplinary. Now, if you want, you can write down uh, on front of interdisciplinary what I am telling. What do you mean by interdisciplinary? Right? Now, as I told you, the strategic plan you are preparing for entire bank, entire organization. There may be a different plans prepared by different department, HR plan, marketing plan, whatever you call it, operation plan, whatever you call it. But all plans ultimately goes towards achieving your final organizational objective. So therefore, there may be a different or so many operational, so many functional plans, but you must have only one strategic plan, right? So therefore, if the organization, as I told you, consists of different divisions, different department, different functions, right? So remember, strategic plan does not focus on specific area. It has to be look at it all the areas, right? Remember, it has to be look at it all the areas like HR, finance, marketing. That is what you call interdisciplinary, right? So what is interdisciplinary? You can say the strategy plan does not focus on specific area, does not focus on specific area. We have to look at it all the functional areas like marketing, HR, finance, operations, like that is what called interdisciplinary, right? Okay, first point. Now I understood four aspects of strategic management. Second one, external focus. So what do you mean by external focus? When you're preparing your external strategic plan, you need to look at it, your external factors. Why you are going to implement in the external environment? What is my political factors, economic factors, then the pestle factors we call them as, right? What are your competitors is doing? Huh? all are external factors. Whether is environment is, what are the things are changing? Economy factors are changing, cultural, social, technology things are changing. Like that, we need to understand. Accordingly, you need to prepare your strategic plan. That is why strategic management or strategic plan must be external focus. You need to look at it, what is happening in the market. Now, say for an example, COVID-19 is an external factor. Can we prepare a strategic plan without look at it then? We have to look at it now. Because as a result of that, a lot of business practices or business activities are taking place. Right? So therefore, remember, we need to look at it, all these things. Right? Okay. Now, so we look at the third point. It's not only look at the external, but you need to look at the internal as well. What do you mean by internal? What are our strengths? Right? What are our resources? Have you have enough people to do that? Right? Have money to do that? Right? So we need to look at it internal. So organizational resources, organization competencies, organization capabilities. So we need to look at it. Otherwise, you come up with a nice strategy plan, but you don't have money to implement, and you don't have a people to implement. So it's useless. So therefore, remember, so your strategic plan, not only external focus, must also look at internal focus. Right. Second. Next one. The next one is what you call the future direction. We always going to look, that is why always we look at what may be the Sri Lanka going to be in another 3 years' time. What's going to be changed? You need to analyze what may be the future. Right? So we have been discussing to point where what is the benefit of strategic planning. The strategic planning basically facilitates a organization, every person's in the organization to go on one directions, right? Okay, so you can just see what are the benefits. And just look at the strategic planning process. It's a process. What do you mean by a process? Process means series of activities. Yes, right. Series of activities. Right? Series of activities. Strategic planning process means series of activities. Right? And so what we are trying to do, and we are trying to develop our plan. Right? It's consisting of essential element that set future directions of financial institution. Okay. Now let's look at it. The typical standard strategic planning process. Okay, right. Can you remember we discussed what is strategic management, what is strategic planning? 3 stages, right? What are the 3 stages? Strategy formulation, strategy implementation, and strategy evaluation. Now let's look at the standard strategic planning format. Okay, first develop a vision mission. Right? First develop a vision missions, and then we look at it external audit and internal audit. For that, for analyze where we are now, establish objectives, future goals, and then strategies. Right? After preparations of strategies is a strategy formulation. Once you implement all these strategies in the real life situation, we call implementing. And then we see whether we are using strategies correctly and measure the evaluation. That is strategic evaluation. Okay, right. That is standard steps involving in strategic planning process. Okay, now let's we look at it. the first steps. So the first step is basically we call them as, right here, first point here, vision. Okay, let me explain again. Right now, what is strategic planning process mean? So to find out solution for three central questions. What are the central questions? Where are we now? So what is my financial organization present position in terms of, we'll say, market share, maybe in terms of profits, for example, right? In terms of deposits, right? Like that, you can say what is your present position. So now presently you have 5% in the market, right? Where are you going to be, right? So you want to improve your market share to 7%, like that. Improve your profit to so much, like that. Where you want to be. Then third one is strategies. Strategies mean how I'm going to improve your market share from 5 to 7. What is the strategies I'm going to use, right? So we are going to use these strategies maybe using three weeks. We are going to explain, right? Okay, now you know where are we now, where are you want to be. So first things here, the first component we are going to discuss is what you call vision. Right, now let's look at it. What is vision, right? Okay, what is mission? Right, let's look at it. Okay, so Niroshan, you understood up to now? Please unmute or just send me an S, because it's very difficult to, so we had to have a dialogue. What do you think, Niroshan? You can unmute and tell me, or otherwise you can just send me a chat. No? How about Patum? Patum, you okay up to now? Patum, you are, I think you are listening. Yes. Okay, right. Then how about Gayomi or Gaumi? Or yes, right, Patum, okay. Sarida, Darshani, yes. Okay, right. So now we move in from this point onwards, right? Okay, now what do you mean by a vision? Now, the vision is talk about where your organization want to be. And vision is basically give a direction your organization to go, right? Where your organization need to go. Now, vision, have you heard about what you call lighthouse? What is lighthouse? Lighthouse give you a shift to go. It's give you a direction, but it's not the final destination, right? The lighthouse is not the final destination, but it give direction, ships to go. Likewise, vision also like a lighthouse. It's give you organization to go. It's inspired the people. It's inspired the staff, right? And vision statement may describe how things would be different as a result of organization activities, right? What is a future you're going to be, your organization is going to be, right? Now, right? Now, say for an example, how many of you are aware about your organizational, your bank vision? I'm not going to ask you that. So you may be working in the bank. How many of you are aware your bank's vision statement? I'm not going to ask, don't worry, right? I'm not going to ask your bank vision. So are you aware? Think yourself, right? How many of you are aware your bank vision statement, right? Now let's look at it. These are some of the vision statement in front of our banks. Right. Can tell me to be the most technologically advanced, innovative, and customer-friendly financial services organization in Sri Lanka. Poised for further expansion in South Asia. That's a one bank vision statement. To be the acknowledged leader and chosen partner in providing financial solution through inspired people. Right? To be the bank of the aspiration people of Sri Lanka, empowering people to become value creating, competitive, and self reliant. The growing force in Sri Lankan financial services. Right. To be Earth's most customer centric company where customers can find, discover anything that might want to buy online. That is not a bank, right? Okay. So one, first, second, third, fourth are basically Sri Lankan leading bank's vision statement. I think some of you must be know your bank vision. So it gives you directions to go, right? Okay, right. I'm not going to tell you which bank in this, but these are some of the Sri Lankan leading banks vision statements, right? Okay, so why is a vision necessary for an organization? If examiner can ask from you, why vision is important for bank? Right? And remember, it provides a framework with which the entire company to operate. Otherwise, what happens if we don't have a vision? People are going for different directions. But you must have one vision. So therefore, entire organization, entire employees, what they are doing for one direction. That is why it gives you a direction. Right? And also it is something inspirational. What do you mean by that? So something you need to feel it. You need to feel it, right? It allows the company to establish its highest level of goals and formulate the plan necessary to achieve these goals. So vision also tells you how to prepare your, give your directions, some guidelines, how to prepare your vision will give you how to prepare your missions, goals, and objectives. Right? And and also it's give a general sense of directions, as I told you earlier. Right? Okay, so that those are the some of the key features of visions. Why we need vision. Okay, right. Now there's something under that also. Please write the importance of vision. Right? Some importance of vision. So you can write somewhere in somewhere some other place importance of vision. Right? Like strategy plan. Future casting. First point is future casting. First one you can write somewhere along with your new vision and say first point future casting. What do you mean by that? Vision must be long term, future oriented. That is what you call future casting, right? And also vision must be inspiring. This is like, there's a Hindi song called, I think everybody's know, you heard about that Hindi song called Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, Tum Paas Aaye. You have heard that song. What that song saying in Sinhala? So that's a classic example of vision, right? That song is telling about that film. Mama ඔයාව දැක්කම මට නිකන් මොනවද වෙනවා. So that is something, right? ඒ සින්දුවේ තේරුම ඒකයි. තුම් පාස ආයේ කියලා සින්දුවක් තියෙන්නේ. අර කුච් කුච් හොතා है කියන එකේ. ඒක කියන්නේ සින්දුවෙන් කියන්නේ මට ඔයාව ආව ඉස්සරහට දැක්කම මට නිකන් මොනවද වෙනවා. So your vision also like that. If your organization vision statement, right, it should be give something in some info. I don't know, I'm going to achieve this, something like that. Okay, so that is the importance of vision. Inspiring. And also remember, third one is motivating. Your vision should be motivating also. Every people must be motivated to go there. Three important points: future casting, inspiring, motivating. But not only motivating, and also it should be purpose driven. Purpose driven. These are the key points, right? Visions, right? Future casting, inspiring, motivating, and purpose driven. So the organizations go towards certain purpose. So that is what you call importance of vision statement, right? Okay, where we want to be. Now the first component of that is we discuss mission statement. The second one we call is a mission statement, right? So what are the key component of a mission statement, right? The mission statement talk about customers, right? Who are your customers? What are the product and services you're offering? What are the markets you are dealing with or compete with? And what is the technology you are using, right? And so what is your organization expected growth and profits and things like that? What is your organization philosophy, right? And what are the public image? What do you think about your organization? Whether you are environmental concern and also your concern for employees. Now, so these are the key component of mission statement. Right. Now, if you're a good mission statement, you must have all these components inbuilt to your mission statement. I'm just telling you, right? Right? These are the key components must be incorporated when you're preparing for your mission statement, right? Otherwise, you can't just prepare a mission statement, right? Mission statement consists of all these 9 components, at least majority of these components, right? Majority of these components. Now, let's look at it. Now we'll see, take an example, right? Take an example, right? Now take one of these are the some mission statement in your bag, right? Now take the first one, right? Providing reliable, innovative, customer-friendly financial services, utilizing cutting-edge technology and focusing continuously on productivity improvement whilst developing our staff and acquiring necessary expertise to expand locally and regionally, right? And this is the one of the famous mission statement. Now, when you're reading of this mission statement, see all these components are covered this mission statement. That is why, if majority of these components are covered in this mission statement, that be a good statement, mission statement. And just to get an idea, when you go for your MBA or your degree level, when you're studying your strategic management, what they usually giving you, they give you a case study and ask you to prepare they give you the brief history of your particular organization, ask you to prepare mission statement for that organization, right? When you're preparing your mission statement, you need to incorporate all these factors, right? Component for mission statement. That is why it's become a good mission statement, right? Now, these are some of the key component of a mission statement. Now, let's look at it. This bag is incorporated all these component in their mission statement. Okay, right. First, we'll take what? First one we talk about customers. Right. Now see whether they have been talking about customers. Yes. What they talking about the customers? They're telling providing reliable, innovative, customer-friendly financial services. Now we are talking about you are dealing with financial customers. Right. First point is addressing that concern. Right. And let's look at it, product and services, whether they address that. What are the products are they offering? They also talk about reliable, innovative, customer-friendly services. That means product. Innovative, reliable financial product they are offering. Second, also they discuss. And then they look at it, markets. What are the markets they are dealing with? Geographically, where does the firm competes? They talk about where. If you look at the last one, expertise to expand locally and regionally. Lanka saha pradesiya vashe. Locally and regionally. Right? That is their market. Right? They talk about the market as well. Now they look at the technology. So what is the type of technology they are using? They are using the cutting edge technology. What do you mean by cutting edge technology? Cutting edge technology means the new technology. When you're providing customer services to the bank customers, they are using cutting edge technology. Cutting edge technology means the modern technology, the recent technology, right? Now, four parts they have talked about. Then you look at it, another one, right? Another one, what's the next point they talk about, right? Talking about staff. You look at it, right? Look at the ninth component here. They talk about concern for employees. They consider employees are valuable for them. So how they put it? They put whilst developing our staff. That means they improve the employees as well. So that is what your concern for their employees, right? Okay. And acquiring necessary expertise. So we are giving them a knowledge. So we have a knowledgeful staff. So they are concerned for employees, right? Now, how many factors they take into account? This, no? Right. And productivity improvement. So what do you mean by the productivity improvement? The competencies, right? So improve continuously their productivity. Okay. Right. Now you see how many components they have incorporated to the development of mission statement. Right? Okay. So some of the bank's mission statement, if to be a good mission statement, you need to incorporate more components of a mission statement was given here. When you talk about mission statement, try to put more components into your mission statement, right? Once you read it, your mission statement, see whether all these components are incorporated, at least maximum of components be incorporated to your your mission statement, right? Okay, now what is mission statement? When you read any organization mission statements, it tells you the business you are dealing. You don't want to tell what sort of business. If you read the mission statement for any organization, you know what type of business they are involved in, right? And remember, that is what's called core purpose of your organization, right? It gives you one clear direction to all organization. And mission is, remember, present. Focus on short to medium term, whereas the vision, long term. Vision is always futuristic, but mission is always the present. Right? Clear? Right. Now, mission is more on a day-to-day activity. What your organization is doing. Right? Vision is what are the things you're going to be like. Okay. So then, having understood the corporate vision, mission, and then comes the values, corporate values. Now, maybe 10 years ago, or maybe 15 years ago, you may not have value statement for your bank. Now, this value statement inbuilt to the mission statement. Value statement inbuilt to the mission statement. But after some time, organization has realized they have to take it out from the mission statement and come up with a new statement called value statement. Right? So what is corporate value statements mean? And it's talk about values may be expressed as beliefs, guidelines, rules may be set out in a code of conduct. When you have carried out your business, when your bank is carried out your business, this is how we carried out our business. Now, can you remember I told you this is the word philosophy? What are the basic beliefs, values, aspirations, right? Ethical. So that part is taken out from the mission statement, and now they come up with a new statement called corporate value statement. So values may be expressed as beliefs, guidelines, or rules set out code of conduct. Every person in these banks behave like this, treat the customers as like this. People have realized the values is more important. Now, now I can recall you look at it, some of the commercials ran or running at the moment by certain finance organization. Now, I'm not promoting that institution, right? But you look at the commercial credit. Now, see what they talk about. They talk about the good things, right? They talk about not their products. They are not talk about the institution. They talk about the beliefs. Can you remember Melbourne? Yahagunian Idiriya, right? They will look after every employees, every customer similar way. Not only Malibu. Now, can you remember the commercial? And son, right, is worship the mother, and his son's mother is look at it, and he's go and worship the mother as well, right? And you look at it, even for Hadukuru, Soda Maganin, or Ledawinavi, that also talk about the values that shows. So organizations, when you're doing business, is do it in a very uh, similar way, I mean, very ethical manner when you're conducting a business, right? Okay, right. Now, so value statement basically came from mission statement, but people have realized the values play an important role because the values are deteriorating now. We want to inculcate the values of the people. So people have realized if this organization is not going to cheat the customer, right? Because it creates the reputation. So each and every employee, each and every customer, they will looking after the same, right? That is the corporate values. right? Every employee in the organization treat every customer in a similar manner, the same manner, irrespective of their religions or whatever, right? That is corporate values. So include how people treat each other, how groups conduct businesses, what is most important to the organization, right? So corporate values. Okay, right. Now you may have your own bank's value statement. Please look at all these value statements. Right. Now we have developed mission, vision, and also value. And now we are going to discuss the goals. Now, if you look at it's like a funnel. Now, broad string is called vision. If you look at the funnel, the broad here is vision, and then is come here, we call mission, and somewhere here you come is called goals. Now it comes like this, right? Okay. Now from mission to goals. Now before that, I'll give you a small question in the latter part of your note. Briefly explain the last page, the last slide. Briefly explain the difference between each of the following pairs: vision statement and mission statement. Right. So I will explain to you next time what is the difference between mission and a vision. Okay, just think. You one side you put vision, one side you put mission. Okay. Give me two differences between mission and a vision. Okay, got my point now? Because that's a one-time question. Right? Okay? Right. What is mission? What is vision? What you can write under mission or what you can write under vision? Simple thing. One difference between vision and a mission. One simple thing. What? Futuristic. Vision is a futuristic, no? Futuristic nature, usually long term. But whereas the mission is current in nature, but short to medium term. Simple, right? Likewise, you try to write. Next week, I will explain to you in more detail what is the difference between vision and mission. So now important thing is, this is a past question, right? So you write yourself by referring your notes. So then I will give you answer next time, so you can see whether what you have written is correct or wrong. It's up to you, right? So this is, it's a virtual class. I can't see whether you are writing or not. So go through your notes and just give you a hint, right? What is mission also? Purpose of existence. Visions give you directions, right? And vision need to be inspired, right? And vision facilitate mission to develop a mission, right? Mission facilitate develop goals, right? Okay. So we will discuss all these things next week. What is the difference between vision and mission? Okay. So now we are moving again to the things what we are learning now from mission to goals. How it's like a funnel. I told you it's coming now, narrowing from broader to come narrow, right? Now I told you, right? Okay, I put an objective for your bank like this. Now presently your bank is enjoying, um, presently your bank is enjoying uh, 15% market share, right? Now you are going to say, when you request you to prepare a strategic plan, was asked to prepare an objective for your strategic plan. You are going to prepare, I am going to improve or increase my market share from presently 15% to 25% in 2023. Now I'm asking whether that objective is a smart objective or not. Can Patum tells me whether it is a smart objective or not? What is smart mean? Specific, measurable, right? Achievable, like that. Huh? Yes, you said yes. Any person want to go against him? Now I told yes, measurable. Now I'm asking smart mean. What are the mass smart mean? Achieve specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time. That's smart, no? Right. Now I told you I'm going to set my strategic objective. My present market share is 15%. In 2023, I'm going to increase up to 20 to 25%. Whether this is smart or not. Yes, as far as three component is smart. Right now, say for an example, it is specific. Yes. Why? You are clearly specific, clearly telling the specific market share. Measurable? Yes, you can measure. Market share can be measured. But it is not a smart. Why? Remember, it has to be achievable. Now remember, achieving from presently, you are having 15% market share. 3 years time, you are going to achieve 25%. Now, don't forget, we have around 30 banks also in Sri Lanka. And we have around finance companies. We all are fighting now. But even though it is specific, but it is measurable, but it cannot be achievable. You know, if you want to improve your market share by 1% in terms of deposits, if you want to take additionally 10 billion deposits, it is not so easy to achieve 10% of market share during 3-year period. If you say, okay, I want to improve my market share from 15 to 16%, 17 also too much. Okay, 17 accepted, not 25. Why? It is not achievable. Now say improve operating profit to 80% of the turnover, right? Probably will be impossible. That is why I say 10% is okay. 80% of turnover, it is very difficult task. So, but your objective must be challenging, but remember, it also be achievable. Otherwise, you won't feel it, you not inspire it, you see, to achieve that. Why? කොච්චර කරත් වැඩක් නැහැ මට මේක achieve කරන්න බෑ. Achieve කරන්න පුළුවන් ප්‍රමාණයක් වෙන්නත් ඕනේ. Then only you can go, right? Remember. Now I think you understood what I am saying, right? Okay. Okay, Buddha? Right? I hope you understood, right? Patum, you understood, right? Yeah. 3 components are correct, but not all. Achievable is not there, right? Okay. Third. Then we move into the fourth one. What is the fourth one? It should be relevant. Now, relevant means it's explicitly linked to the overall goals of the business. Now, if you say, right, increase customer retention by 5% is relevant to the overall goal of increasing customer satisfaction. Now, say for an example, we'll take the same question, improve the market share. Now, we have our vision, say, we are going to improve our business. We are not going to go for geography. Regionally, we are not going to expand. I am concentrating my business only in Sri Lanka. My bank is concentrating only in Sri Lanka. I'm not going to open branches in any other country. Now, you put, right, as a corporate objective, same objective. I am going to increase my market share by 2%. Now you okay, no, achievable, measurable, specific, achievable by dealing with or open branches in other countries. Then your objective must be not relevant. Why? Because you said you are not going to do business overseas. You are concentrating only on Sri Lanka. So then your objective is irrelevant. It's not relevant. Right? Okay, if you say, I'm going to improve my businesses, I'm going to increase my market share by opening new branches in Sri Lanka, yes, it's relevant. Okay, it should be relevant. Right. Now, I'll give you a last point. Now, I'll give my questions, my objectives like this. I'm going to improve my businesses. I'm going to improve my market share. I'm going to improve my market share, right? Specific. I'm going to improve my market share by present 15 to 17% by opening of new branches and developing new products. It's a smart objective or not? Can anybody tell? I'm going to improve my market share, right, in 2023 from existing 15 to 17% during 2023 by introducing new products and open new branches. Can anybody tell me whether it is a smart objective or not? Gayani, what do you think? It is smart objective or not? Anybody? Right? Sarinder, Darshani, Sachinta? Yes. It is smart. Okay. What else? Anybody can say it's not a smart objective? Right? It is a smart objective. Can anyone say it's not a smart objective? But I am saying it is not a smart objective. Why? I say it is not a smart objective. I am saying I am going to increase my market share from 2023. Sorry, if I say 2023, yes, then it's a smart. But if I not mention the time factor, it is not a smart. I think you have taken in 2023, yes, because I am going to take into account the time factor. So then it's become a smart objective. If I say if I'm going to increase the market share by from 15 to 70s, if you finish from that point, so that means it's not a smart. Why? I have not mentioned the time frame. It can be 2023, it can be 2025, like that. So it has to be time bound, right? So these are some of the objectives of smart. Right? Now you see objective should be, why should be smart, right? So my technical people are telling they want to do some changes here, and in fact again it's 12:30, so we will stop today and we will continue from next week the same time and try to answer the question which I gave you, that what is the difference between vision and mission. Right, I went little slow today, but my new, so we will do a little more faster next week. Right, so please go through. I'll send you another tune to cover the next week as well. So what we have discussed today, only one part, right? That is where we want to be, where we discuss vision, mission, values, goals, objectives, and some more to be discussed on objectives, right? Okay, so we stop today. Any questions? Please, not hesitate to ask from me, or you can. Yes, it is good, right? Any questions? So you need more clarification. So, right? I know you are silent students, no? You're silent students, like a silent, partnership. We are called silent partner. You are like that, no? Silence, but okay, doesn't matter. So try to be with me. If you are in my classroom, I can ask, but you are virtual. I can only check from your names here on the right side. But anyhow, so we will make it this section very interesting, and it's remember corporate strategy plan not only confined to your exam, but it's important for your banking career as well. Okay, then see you on next Saturday at the same time. We continue from the first we discuss where we want to be, and then next week we are trying to do uh, where we are now. Right? For that we discuss the SWOT analysis, crystal analysis, and things like that. Right? And more time we are spent for developing strategies, maybe another 2 weeks time. Okay, so see you today, and we will see you on next Saturday at the same time. Thank you.